What's up, everybody? It's Jasmine, and it is Easter weekend, and things were going pretty well. I've been pretty excited about having a longer weekend because of all the work we've been doing. But unfortunately, I do have a problem that has reappeared. Okay, so to start off the whole story, a couple of weeks ago, I was hanging out with my boyfriend, and then we were going back to my place, and when we got up to my floor of the building, I noticed that my workmate was there, and I was pretty surprised. But like, I live really near work, like it's a part of work. The work owns the building, so I just thought that he, had come up maybe to the wrong floor or something because he was pretty drunk. So I was like, "Hey, buddy, what's up?" And I gave him a hug, and just asked what he was doing, and I didn't really think that much of it. And he was pretty drunk, and then it got really awkward because he kind of like tried to invite himself back to my place, which I thought, I was like, basically I was just like, oh no, we're gonna get dinner, so it's not really gonna work. But I thought maybe he was just being like, I mean, he was drunk, right? So maybe like in his drunken mind he would think like, oh, here's my workmate, I can just ask her if we can hang out for a little bit since we ran into each other coincidentally anyway. But then a couple of hours later, I checked my phone, which had been on silent, and I realized that he had actually called me a little bit before we had actually seen each other. So then that made me a little bit suspicious, like what was he actually doing there? It made me more suspicious that he actually had come up to the floor that I live on purpose. And it was a little bit awkward when I said no to him coming over. He was like, oh, is that how it is? But in Swedish. But people when they're drunk, I was kind of like, oh, that's pretty normal for drunk people to be a little bit annoying about things. So anyway, that put me on a little bit of alert because I thought that's a little bit unusual and a little bit unsettling. So then at work it had been a little bit awkward. I hadn't really talked to him as much because I just kind of thought, I can't, I gotta step back a wee bit because I can't just be all like friendly with him and everything like usual, because I don't want that sort of thing to happen again. So it had been a few weeks, nothing had happened, and I kind of thought, he's learned his lesson, he realised that it was like the wrong thing to do, and, now it's over and done with. But now it's the Easter weekend, and the Thursday night, so the first night of the start of the long weekend, he called me drunk, and he was just telling me, like, that I mean a lot to him, and, he really cares about me and stuff like that. And I was just really disappointed because I thought that it was over with. I thought he made a stupid mistake coming up to my floor and he had realized, but no, 2-3 weeks later, he's calling me up drunk. And the problem is that, I have been around drunk people before, and my way of dealing with it is just like, you just go along with it, like, oh, haha, hey, how's it going? And then you try and get off, away from that situation. Because to me, it kind of seems, I don't want to upset the drunk person, because they're already not thinking right. So I don't want to be like, this isn't cool, because I don't want them to just like go off the handle, really, which can happen when they're drunk. So basically I just like played along with it. The phone call went on for 50 minutes, and it was just really not cool. And now I'm really annoyed because, okay, you make the mistake once, right? But then you go and make the mistake a second time. Now we're having a really big problem, okay? And then today, the day after, he's called me again. I didn't answer because obviously now I've learned my lesson, right? I didn't answer. But what is he doing calling me up 2 nights in a row? I mean, I'm assuming he was drunk again. It's not like he called me the next morning to apologize. No, he's calling me again at nighttime. And I don't know. The problem is that, like, he's a nice person. He's lonely, And I can understand that. And like, we can be friends, but you can't be calling me up drunk. You can't be coming up to my floor where I live unannounced. You can't be like trying to meet up when you're drunk. Like, that's just not okay. You know, and I don't want to get him fired or anything. I don't want to like make his working situation super, super awful. I just want to have like a normal friendship with my workmates, not this creepy stuff where he's coming up to where I live and calling me when he's drunk and just making it really uncomfortable for me. So I'm not 100% sure what I should do. My plan is to talk with one of my workmates who I think is pretty friendly with him and get his opinion on what to do, because I also don't know if it's like a cultural thing, because the thing in Sweden is that like people are pretty standoffish. So I'm a person who comes in and I'm like really friendly and talking with everybody, and so I think that that kind of opens myself up to getting people who are like more clingy, or like, you know, kind of like, oh wow, you know, this is so different, somebody who's so friendly, you know, finally I can open up to someone, like that sort of thing. So I'm thinking of talking with this guy and getting his opinion on it, and seeing if maybe he can say something, or if he has some advice for how I should approach it, because I find it really difficult to just say straight out like, don't do this, because it's scary, you know? I mean, he's already come up to my floor, already crossed boundaries, so it feels like it could get a lot worse if I don't handle it properly, or it could get a lot better. I mean, I don't know. So yeah, I'll talk with the guy. I'll talk with my other workmate and see if there's something that I can do. And then obviously if it keeps on happening, I guess I would have to talk to my boss, like the big boss, and see what can be done there. But yeah, it's really frustrating, because I know that he's a good person. I know that he's just like a lonely person, and I know that he cares about me and he wants me to have like a good life. But for some reason he is just decided to let himself cross boundaries and cross lines. And I mean, I would guess that he has like some sort of a drinking problem, right? Because that, you know, yeah. So that's what's going on with me. It's annoying as well, because it's like I've worked really hard all week, and then I just really wanted to relax on the weekend, but now I have this extra stress of like, oh great, you know, there's this guy who keeps calling me when he's drunk, and it's my workmate, and yeah. So hopefully the situation will get sorted, and hopefully we will still be able to work with each other and still be like friendly and things, because I really don't think that he's a really awful person. I just think he's got like some issues that need to be sorted out. But then I also can't risk that maybe I'm wrong, and that maybe it's a lot worse than I think it is, you know, because that's the big danger. I mean, being a woman in a male-dominated workplace, you do think that there's the possibility of people pushing boundaries and it being uncomfortable. But when it actually happens, it's not always like a big scary thing. It can be like this, where you know the person pretty well, and you know that they live alone, and they kind of, you know, don't have a whole lot of friends and things, and so you do care about the person, so it makes it a lot more difficult to just be aggressive and be like, get out of my space, get out of my, you know, social circle, you know, we can't be friends, because I think that we can be friends, but it's just something has clicked in his brain that you know, he's gone off the right path, really. So yeah, anyway, that's it for me today, guys. It sucks. But yeah, I'm gonna make it through. Anyway, catch you all next time. Hey, Dawn.